Hi, everybody. We're back to offer recommendations for books, movies, music, and more that you can check out from the Carmel Clay Public Library. I'm Catherine, and I'm joined yet again by Julie and Susan, and we have some great suggestions for you for this month. So, Susan, why don't you kick us off?
Absolutely. So in 2020, Rachel Joyce's Miss Benson's Beetle was one of my absolute favorite reads. And a friend of mine recommended one of her earlier releases called The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry, which was published in 2012. It is coming out as a movie in theaters in late April, so coming up soon. And in this story, we meet Harold Fry, an unassuming retiree with a lot of time on his hands and a mountain of regrets. He and his wife, Maureen, coexist, but not harmoniously. Unexpectedly, Harold receives a letter from Queenie, his co-worker of 20 years past. She lets him know that she's in hospice and dying of cancer. Harold is dumbfounded by this news and hardly knows how to process it. Harold knows that Queenie did him a huge favor these many years past, and he must find a way to repay her. He writes an inconsequential letter to her and goes to mail it. But he's struggling with this inadequacy of his gesture, and he keeps just walking and walking from mailbox to mailbox and never sending it. After a conversation with a gas station attendant, he decides that he is going to walk to Queenie, who is clear across Great Britain. He calls the hospice and tells them to relay a message to Queenie that he's walking to see her and she must stay alive until he gets there. Harold is grossly unprepared to embark on this journey of 600 miles, from his boat shoes to his light jacket to his poor health, but he is undaunted and forges ahead. Along the way, Harold meets many kind and interesting people, and he faces many regrets. His journey is just as much about atonement as it is about supporting his friend Queenie. You will love your journey with Harold and wish you could buy him some proper shoes, socks, coat, clothing, hat. Well, you get the point. The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry is available at the library in print, ebook, and audiobook, and be sure to look for it in theaters later this month. What about you, Julie?
My pick this month is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandanna. This is a contemporary fantasy story that follows the life of Mika Moon, who has spent most of her life alone protecting the big secret that she's a witch. On a whim, she takes a live-in tutoring job and finds that the household, called Nowhere House, is keeping many secrets of its own. Her 3 young charges, along with the surly yet handsome Nowhere House librarian, turn out to be a bigger challenge than she expected, but she starts to feel at home for the first time in her life. This warm, feel-good story with some light romance is about learning to embrace who you are and creating your own family. I recommend this book for fans of T.J. Klune and Alice Hoffman. The library has The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandanna in print, ebook, and downloadable audiobook. Now I'm curious to hear what Catherine's recommendation is this month.
Oh my goodness, you had to have a witch. Well, I have a vampire. So we have a retiree, a witch, and a vampire. This is a bad bar joke that we'll all come to a bar. I read a book that I enjoyed so much. I don't think I've enjoyed a vampire book so much since Anne Rice. And this is The God of Endings by Jackie Holland. And if you're a fan of Anne Rice, or even The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, this is a historical fantasy debut, and it moves from the 1830s into the 1980s with Colette. And Colette is an immortal vampire, and she's attempting to deal with some of the nightmares from her past while trying to run, you'll never guess, an elite fine art school for young children in upstate New York. So if you like upstate New York as a book setting, vampires, teachers, it has a whole lot to offer, little genre bending with The God of Endings by Jackie Holland, which is available at the Carmel Clay Public Library in print and as an ebook as well. So thank you so much for joining us for this month's book chat, and we'll see you all next time.